the game becomes different. When you're able to have better communication with yourself, the game changes. Because now it's you versus you, and it's you and you versus the old you. If you're telling yourself that you're entitled to a millionaire lifestyle because you put in 2 weeks of work, you're literally lying to yourself, and you need to stop. I don't know when it happened, and I don't know who to blame for this, but for some reason, our generation seems to think that success is supposed to happen fast. To assume that the success that you're looking for in your life is supposed to happen fast is to assume that you can cook a 5-star gourmet meal in a microwave. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of microwave meals as well. But let's be honest here. A microwave steak does not taste as good as a chef-prepared restaurant steak. And we're looking for that chef-level restaurant steak now. My name is Apex Laurent, and if you're new here, I usually make 2 types of videos on this YouTube channel. One is sharing the communication skills, tips, and tricks that I've learned, and 2 is sharing my thoughts and lessons that I've learned in my own life, doing this professional thing, doing this entrepreneur thing, doing this creative thing, and doing this thing we all call life. And the reason I share these 2 types of lessons with you guys is because as I share these lessons, I'm also able to grow more, and I'm also able to reflect on places that I was and things that I've done in the past. As I better tell my story, I'm helping you better tell your story, and together, we can make history. I've been reflecting on success a lot lately as I've been continuing moving forward in my discipline journey and creating communication assets for you guys. And I've realized that everybody is looking for that microwave instant win lottery ticket success. And if you keep looking for that lottery ticket success, you're honestly never going to find it. It's really like trying to find cheat codes to life. And I think the problem with it is people are not accustomed to the discomfort that comes with failure and not being extremely good at something when you first try it. We have to adopt the mindset of progress over perfection in order to truly achieve the level of sustainment that we want in our lives. So personally speaking, when I first started making YouTube videos, I had to really think about what kinds of videos will I never get tired of making? What kind of value can I give to people that I would never get tired of wanting to get better at myself? And what else can I share about myself to make sure that my YouTube videos feel like you're talking to me? And I had to decide what kind of videos can I make that represent who I am, and something that no matter what stage in life that I get to, I can look back on these videos and be proud of the growth and the progress that I made to become the man I am, based on who I was. As I sat and had to decide with myself what were these things that I could share, I realized that communication was one, because you need communication to succeed in anything. Most bosses, leaders, entrepreneurs, successful people can tell you that most of their day consists of having to talk, communicate, lead, direct many other people. And the number one skill in being able to do all of those things efficiently is communication. Now, coming from the live events and public speaking and entertainment space, communication is looked at a little bit differently in those spaces, as it's literally the medium that creates the connection for all of those industries to exist. But because of that, the idea of communication skills becomes kind of like an unsung hero that more people don't actually acknowledge as the important part or the important skill that brought them to where they are in life now. As I've been able to tell stories about what I'm learning and the things that I've learned about communication, I've realized something about self-improvement that made me say, I really need to share this stuff. A lot of my own self-improvement, meaning me getting disciplined and me being more motivated, me deciding to go to the gym more, me being consistent on YouTube and figuring out that kind of schedule, a lot of that happened because I learned how to better communicate with myself. As I keep making these journal entries and I keep making these communication tip videos, I'd like to really make sure that you're getting a good sense of who I am and that I'm in a growth process as well. And it's okay to be in a growth process, because in my growth process, I understand that I won't be perfect, but I will make progress. And I'm okay with continuously making progress, because the only way that we get as close to perfect as we would like to as human beings is through incremental progression, consistent progression, and nonstop progression. Meaning I'm going to remain forever a student, meaning I'm going to allow myself to do bad because I know I'll do better next time. And meaning I'm never going to judge the fact that I couldn't do something perfect as a means to say, I can't do it. Of course I can. I just have to keep getting better at it. And so do you. Because in order for me to learn that I had to do all these things, I had to learn how to better talk to myself. And a lot of the people that I've been coaching up about communication and self-improvement, I realized their self-communication is where they lack the most. We're not having good conversations with ourselves. And what you need to do is figure out how to get into the mirror and change the tonality of the voice that you hear in your head by using the voice that you can use out loud to speak more positively about yourself and to encourage the behaviors that you want to become the person that you want to be. It took me a long time to really cut all the fat and all the nonsense out of my head to really start learning what positive self-talk is. It took me a long time to stop complaining about wanting to go to the gym because I had to rationalize in my head that the reason I want to go to the gym is way more important, way more beneficial, and way more in line with who I want to be than not going to the gym. I have another video that kind of explains my process in going through discipline and how important it is that I'll link in the description, and I'll make sure that it's linked up for the next video. And that video talks a little bit about how I started conquering my mornings and what kind of routine I follow to make sure that I have the most optimal day, whether it's my mood, whether it's my productivity, or just being able to keep my ideas flowing. By earning my own respect, I learned to trust myself because I would say I would do something, I would lock down and lock in on why I said I'm going to do something, and then I'd make sure that I do that thing. And if I didn't do that thing, I didn't beat myself up. I didn't say I'm the worst, but I did reflect on what made me not do it. I did reflect on all the symptoms that made me say, let me just do this easy, light, instant gratification thing. And don't worry, I'm going to make another video explaining some of the bad habits that I had to cut, as well as some of the good habits that I had to instill. But this video is mainly talking about the mentality for understanding that success is not supposed to happen fast, comes from how you talk to yourself. If you're telling yourself that you're entitled to a millionaire lifestyle because you put in 2 weeks of work, you're literally lying to yourself, and you need to stop. I also suffered from these delusions of a grandeur. I myself suffered from what I now call fairy tale syndrome. I deserve the girl. I deserve the $1 million. I deserve the opportunities. I deserve the virality. I deserve everything. I deserve the fitness body for going to the gym for a week. All of this nonsense I kept telling myself simply off of entitlement and ego. Ego can be a superpower. Ego can really drive you to do some great things. But ego is also something that you need to conquer to ensure that it's not leading you. Ego is supposed to be an asset. It's supposed to protect you, and it's supposed to energize you. But a lot of the times we fall victim to our own egos, making us feel more important and more entitled than we actually are without putting in the work. And it all starts with how we're communicating with ourselves. And these are the small nuanced differences in how we communicate with ourselves. I think I'm a $1 million capable guy. I believe I'm a fit guy who deserves a six-pack and deserves muscles. But am I doing the work? Am I aware of the work? Am I doing the work that needs to be done that guy in my head would be doing? When you're able to have better communication with yourself, you're really able to get granular and real and honest about what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, what you really want and what you really need to do to get what you want. Oh man, the game changes. The game becomes different because now it's you versus you, and it's you and you versus the old you. It's your conscious and your subconscious now battling together to create your future because you know you're capable of more. And you know what you're capable of doing, and you know what you deserve out of life. But you also need to know what you need to do to get that life. And that's going to be the work. We need to stop falling for the influencers on Instagram and the stuff we see on TikTok and the YouTubers. Stop chasing this microwave success, this microwave idea that it's going to happen if you just, cook 30 seconds express and now I'm rich. It's not like that. Overnight successes look overnight, but you don't see the 10 years that happened before them. And mind you, people get lucky. People can win the lottery. People can go viral. There's a lot of things that happen. But to chase that is like gambling. And if you like to gamble, by all means, hey, do your thing. But if you're somebody who wants to create something sustainable, and you also want to be the person that can handle winning the lottery, that can handle what it's like to be responsible for that much money, income, power, influence. If you want to be the person that can handle that when it does happen for you, you have to do the work, and it's going to take the time. The time is what's going to develop you into the person. The work is going to be what makes the stuff that comes worth it. That's also how you battle imposter syndrome. How can I have imposter syndrome when I know I did the work? How can I doubt myself when I know I put the hours in? How can I be nervous when I go on stage in front of thousands of people when I know I put the time in to prepare for this? How can I be nervous about any of the things that I'm doing in my life when I know I did the work? Since I was 10 years old, I was getting in front of tens of people, then hundreds of people, then thousands of people. It started out with classrooms, then it got to hundreds of people, then it got to thousands of people. I've been standing in front of these crowds and holding it down, doing what I had to do as a public speaker. How can I be nervous today when things and opportunities come my way if I've been doing it for years? If I put in the hours, how can I be nervous? How can I doubt myself? How can I face imposter syndrome? And don't get me wrong, the feelings will still happen. But see what I'm doing right now? I'm communicating with myself to remind myself I put the work in. I earned my own trust. I earned my own confidence, and I put in the hours. How can I be nervous when I put the time in? And that's what you need to do. You won't have imposter syndrome. You won't doubt yourself, and you won't worry about your ability to sustain an income if you do the work and if you put the hours in. And it all comes with how you're talking to yourself. Are you being real? And are you self-communicating and being the person that you want to be in the future? Or are you just having delusions of a grandeur, assuming that this microwave is going to happen and it's going to just, here you go. Someone's going to come save you and give you the magic box. We need to stop. We have to stop doing this. And it all starts with just making sure that you talk to yourself in a more healthy manner. Like I said, my name is Apex Laurent, and I'm going to be doing more of these types of videos. These are called my Millennial Nomad podcast, where I share the lessons that I've learned, aside from the videos where I share information and insights that I've learned about communication skills specifically. I want to just create this community, and I want to make sure that as I was telling my story and giving out these vlogs, there was also something that you could really learn from in terms of the communication videos I put out. So if you guys like these videos, let me know in the comments. I want to engage with my community directly, so the more you guys let me know what videos resonate with you guys, the more I can start producing those videos for you specifically. I like to talk about communication, I like to talk about self-improvement, and I like to share the lessons I've learned. So my videos are always going to fall in line with those three things. If there's any room for me to pivot so I can better help you, you can either book a call with me, check out my website, or let me know in the comments. Because right now, my goal is always going to be the same. I share my story to help you better tell your story, so that way together, we can keep writing history. Thanks for watching. Be great! Be amazing!